Hello everybody, Blue Dooley, and we're in ATS, and we're actually checking out the Oklahoma DLC, but we're also checking out the Kenworth K100E. This truck is available on Steam, and if you find it on Steam, there's a link to some add-ons to it that actually add some different chassis setups, as well as being able to put on a tank and a flatbed unit on the truck frame itself, which you don't see a ton of, but I've actually seen several hay haulers that are cab over have what's called a Drom unit, or what the mod author is calling a Drom unit, which is a short little flatbed mounted to the truck's frame, and then a couple of trailers, and they load hay on the tractor and the trailers. I'm just happy because I always like more chassis options. So we're at an actual Kenworth dealer for a change. So we're going to go ahead and customize it. Now, to get the, I played around with it already a little bit. To get the Drom unit on the truck, you have to use the standard or the standard Aerodyne VIT. Changes what chassis are available to you. However, without the additional support, you only have the 4x2, the 4x4, or the 6x4A, and the 6x4B. The prime mover chassis and the 8x4 are only available with the add-on. Which, again, I like having the tag axles on my truck. So we're going to go back here to the standard cab. And now you'll see 6x4 Drom, 8x4 Drom, 8x4 Drom tanker, short, and then all the other options. So I'm going to go with the 8x4. And then for engines, uses the in-game engines already, or if you have like Z-Mod's engines, you can use those with the truck. So we got 60 series commons. We're gonna go with the N14 from Z-Mods with 800 horsepower, because why the hell not? The more horsepower, the better. And then we got an Eaton 13 speed with 355 rear ends already selected in the truck. That's my preferred. Go ahead and minimize that for a little bit. So as you can see, this makes the cab over really long when you go to do this. But we got a couple of Allisons and then 3 manuals. So 3 manuals and 3 Allisons, which is pretty much all you really need. 10-speed, 13, or an 18. 10-speed automatic, 6-speed automatic, or 7-speed automatic. I like the 13s. Now the truck is detailed pretty well. I mean, everything looks really nice. Lots of interior colors. Teal, I mean, you could do pink if you want pink too, or wine if you want to really be classy. You can do wine interior with some tan accents. I think we'll just go with the, we'll go with the tan and black. Yeah, that's not going to match our paint. We'll go with the blue interior here. Paint jobs. Of course, there are quite a few paint job choices for the truck. You can make your own custom metallic. Let's see here. Let's go with, I think I want, yeah, let's do that. And we're going to make that stripe. Make that stripe black. I think we'll actually just make all the stripes black. kind of washes it out. So we better go with a gray. And then the red will go with my saved color. Digging the look of that so far. I'll hop over here to accessories. I'll jump over to this middle unit here, which you can put a box. This would be kind of like a moving van setup, or I've seen a few trucks that haul explosives. They'll have a very small containers like this set up on the trailer so they can keep everything separate. We're going to go with the flatbed. And let's see here, exhaust rack. You can do single, dual exhaust, or you can do dual exhaust and dual intake, which I think actually looks pretty killer. We can put heat shielding on the pipes if we want. And then you can actually change the exhaust tip, which is the upper part of the stack here. So you can do short curved, and then flat. So you get flat or curved. In 5-inch, you can also go long. And then 7-inch. I think we're going to do the 7-inch medium. Then you can change the height of the intakes. Now, if you have the Aerodyne cab, you'll want to raise the air intakes up. And you can change the intake cap. So you can have black, chrome. Oops. You can't apparently run the wider cap. Or you can do the air ram. I just really dig that setup. I just like the look of that. It looks cool. So come around here. You can throw beacons on the truck. Basic mirror. Basic mirror with a small mirror, or you can do the 2 mirrors. So we'll do that. Horns. Square, dome, horn, double. Kind of like the squares myself. Roof lamps 2. That just changes the style. Kind of like the look of those. Sun visors, original visor 2. And then the chrome of the same thing. Now the chrome custom visor is a little bit bigger. Kind of like the look of that. Begin aero kit. Yeah, let's just check it out. We can kind of cover the stacks up a little bit. Well, that's cool. And it looks like you can add more lights to it. So let's go with those. Back to the horns. Yeah, that kind of finishes that look off a little bit. I like it. Of course, you can do driver's plate. Some stuff's inside. Window trim. Chrome it out. Paint match it. Yeah, I prefer paint match, so that's the seat. So we got a few grill options on the truck. No bar, 1 bar, 3 bar, 5 bar, and then of course the 7 bar. Ladder, cab flares, middle mud flaps. Oh, that's those ones right there. So bumper, we got an original bumper, the one with fog lights it looks like, custom chrome, that's a nice clean looking bumper, I like that. You put bumper med flaps on it. Does come with 2 different aero bumpers. Kind of cool. Then we got, looks like several bull bar options with light mounts on them. Painted. That one's a little flatter and closer, tucks up to the truck a little better. Let's go with the paint. Now, depending on what other mods you have, this list will probably change. Mac Superliner has its own mods. The Coronado bumper lights. We throw some LED lights on there. Can't put the sticks because there's no marker out here on the side. Chrome blinking. Radiant for some reason. Or we can do old school style lights. Oops, which one did we put on there? I forget. Let's go ahead and do that. And then Kenworth bumper mud flaps if you want them. Let's see here. Now we gotta find the fender. I like the paint. Load. Okay, so you can actually select your load here too. That's a little silly. Dumpster. Fertilizer. I've seen fertilizer bags on them too. That's prefab parts. Wow. Yeah, I don't know if I'd want a coil sitting that close to me. Let's go ahead. We'll skip that for now. Now you could change where your navigator is, or you can have the computer, which I think's the game already puts up a small screen for it. So hanging items, SISLs, you can apparently change the photos in these. I don't know how to do that. I just got throw a CB up there. So you can see the front. I'd imagine that might cause a lot of lag if you don't have a super awesome PC. Change the wood paneling. We'll go with a little classier. Then it looks like you can use pretty much, nope, not any of the wheels. How about these ones? Nah, looks like I got a mod conflict, so I'll leave those alone. Cabin accessories. Again, SISL Mega Pack. It's it has a lot of stuff you can throw in the truck. Just so much junk. Again, more picture frames you can change out to what you want. Plants vs. Zombie Sunflower. 10-gallon hat. We're in Oklahoma, so that would be fitting. There we go. Let's do the little Mario head there. And then there's some wallets somewhere in here. And so many. Like I said, there's actually almost too much stuff in here. And it doesn't quite fit. I suppose if we moved him over a dot. There you go. You can have your truck cat with you. Magazines. And then, doesn't look like you get much options here in the back. You can put stuff in that little cubby. That's about it. Right, so that's the truck we're looking at right now. And let's go ahead and we'll match the steer tires to the lift axle. There we go. We'll go ahead and confirm it. Yes, we do. Where do we want to send our current truck? We want to send it to there. Oops. And we get a little cutscene. I've never actually bought a truck from a truck dealer. I always use the mod dealer or buy it online option. So I've never. This is the first truck I've bought from a dealer, so I didn't know they did any of this. That's a good looking truck. Alright, we are back. I couldn't figure out how you get the load to load on the truck. So I'll have to do some research into that. So we're actually at a truck shop and just threw the dumpster on like it would be if it was loaded on there. So that's what the truck looks like fully loaded. Get some lights on. And we are heading from Clinton to Ibel, Oklahoma. Might not actually pronounce that right. But we're actually going to come down south and go through Lawton, Ardmore, and then come across 70 so we can work on filling the map out a little bit more. So since it's a thing you select in the garage, that's why it's in here now. As you can see, the drop axle's down and it actually steers. We don't need probably don't need those for empty dumpsters, so we'll go ahead and pick those axles up. Rolling through Oklahoma at 6 o'clock in the morning. We'll swing in there, stop for coffee real quick. We'll get going. Really don't need first for empty dumpsters either, but it's alright. So this is an ownable drop deck that I picked up, but I understand it's rainy and kind of dark, but man, this truck just looks really killer. Hope everyone's having a good weekend. I had a really long week, so that's why we're checking out the Kenworth K100E, which is available on Steam, along with the add-on pack for it. It is not on Steam, but it is not a payware thing. So find the K100 on the Steam Workshop. Is the bus actually going to stop for the railroad tracks? No. That'd have been some cool detail if it did. That'd be some really neat added realism to it. Jump up into 13th and come back across in front of that bus. I'm not real super happy with the way a couple of things have turned out on the Grand Hauler. It's kind of why it's been just sitting on the table in here in the office, just kind of mulling over some options. And the snowplow, really just need to get some more lights ordered up so I can get all the lights wired up, put those lights in the truck, and that'll be good to go. Alright, 65, we're doing 20. Boy, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, one extra trash can since we got a 53-foot trailer. It looks like we're probably going to get rained on the whole trip. So it'll be a little gloomy trip through Oklahoma today. Hop in the cab here, turn the wipers on. As I showed you when building the truck, the interior is really nice. Yeah, short trailer. So except for the engine sounds and that Drom add-on, the truck itself is available on Steam. And the Drom add-on is not payware, it's free. You just have to follow the link from the Steam website over to the mod authors page, then click on download. You don't also have to run an upfit. You don't have to put the box, the flatbed, or the tank on it. So if you want a long wheelbase K100, that's the way to do it. Now I commonly see that little flatbed usually hauling hay. It's a fairly common thing you see out here in Idaho. Usually they're hauling hay, and then they'll have a 48-foot flatbed and then a 28-foot pup behind them with a very narrow sleeper cab like this, or a cab over with no sleeper at all. So it's a like I said, I've seen several. And this is the kind of customization I'd really like to see SCS add more to the base game. More chassis options. Now, like I said, I don't know if the mod author has it so certain loads will just automatically load on the truck. It's my turn almost. So I'll have to look into that. If you've actually been using the mod for a while and know how to do it, by all means leave me a comment down below. That way other people will also know how to do it in the future. I should have made sure it put us on the right road, or at least the road I wanted. Yeah. Yep, it picked the right route now. So, still haven't been to Texarkana yet, because all of this was added, and then the Oklahoma DLC was added. So, got a lot of Texas left to explore. But they've already announced Kansas, so that just leaves Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota, and then we'll really be getting into the Midwest. That'll be cool. I'd like to see SCS add some older trucks to the game, like the K100, the Superliner. It'd be really cool if they got Ford licensing so they could add the LTL 9000, or I forget what the cab over is. Ford made a cab over. An Aeromax would be cool. That was actually the first truck I ever worked on after tech school, was an Aeromax. And I thought I had seen somewhere that they the manufacturers really just kind of wanted them to stick with the newer trucks. But, I mean, in a sim game, you kind of want to drive the older stuff too. I mean, sure, a brand new Aston Martin in Need for Speed or Forza Horizon, that's cool. But I'd imagine most of us that grew up watching James Bond want to drive the DB5. Or all the classic, supercars. The older Jags and Ferraris, Lamborghinis. And while I'm not a huge fan of the Camaro, I would 100% rather have the a 60 or 70s era Camaro than a brand new one, because those are uglier. Uglier than just about anything else on the road. Personal taste. I just don't like the new Camaro. I mean, even the 80s Camaro, like the IROC, looks better than the new one. And the IROC, not exactly a looker. I think actually in Australia you can still get the K100, or maybe it's 200. Again, if you know, let me know in the comments below. Just stuck my head out through the window. That was realistic. I mean, they kind of already have Fords in the game. Those look like a line of Raptors or F-150s to me. And I thought I saw on the SCS forum someone was working on a GMC General, but I don't know. I don't think they've released it so people could even buy it. Or SCS doesn't like paid mods on their forum. So I don't know where you can download that at. I mean, if they were really smart, SCS would absolutely put one of these Kenworth K100s in the older W900, because that's what Snowman drove. The GMC General from Knight Rider. Like, who wouldn't want to drive some of the movie trucks? And if you're wondering what truck Kenworth was, the K100, that was BJ and the Bear, which was before my time, but I have seen pictures of the truck and trailer. The 51 Peterbilt from the movie Duel. I'd drive the hell out of that truck in this game. Especially if like some of the modders supported it, so you could like put a 700-800 horsepower engine in it. And that rusty fuel tanker trailer. That's what I'm talking about. That'd be fun in Convoy, just to mess with your friends, come flying up on them in that rusty old P. Or, since Texarkana's in the game, you and some buddies could drive Snowman's truck and run a load of Coors. I don't know what BJ and Bear hold. I think they just kind of hold whatever. Outside cam lets you be able to see a little bit more of the scenery, which is trees at the moment. Should be good. Should switch lanes for that bus. Sorry, bus. So good. It did look good. I think that the straps aren't even 100% straight on it. That's cool. Yeah, they're a little crooked. That adds realism, because not everybody's going to get their straps perfectly straight. Dynamix Road. I've reached out to SCS in an email, and I haven't heard back on any of the things I inquired with them about, but I was kind of hoping to do a live stream with them. As the ones I've seen, they pretty much only live stream with gamers. And I thought, man, I actually drive truck for a living. Wouldn't it be cool to talk to somebody about the game from an actual truck driver's perspective? Like, Jeff Fabiano had a video out where he ran a convoy with an actual driver riding with Dave, I think. And yeah, that's interesting to me. I mean, it might not be interesting to everybody else. Why the hell did you just stop there? I mean, I'm not that far across that white line. Okay. I broke the AI. Oh, cool. I think that's the first pickup truck I've seen pulling a trailer before. Nice stop, jackass. The AI is frightening like real life sometimes. So this is a World of Trucks contract, so we're not going to be able to run up to 70. We'll only be stuck at 65. Trying to complete my part of the event, just for funsies. It's absolutely not necessary for anything other than just saying you did it, and I think you get a... I forget what you get. We'll have to look. We'll get this dropped off, and then when we're in the main menu, we'll guess we'll just kind of have to creep out here until someone lets us out. There we go. There's a couple project trucks right there. We got the little converted camper into a food truck. To me, those are the details that really kind of add life to the world, besides just AI traffic. You know, people standing around talking. Graffiti, stuff in the storefront windows, the dancy, wavy arm dudes. Rainbow basket. Must be a grocery store. So. Well, it went up to 55 sooner than that. Oops. Roosevelt Memorial Bridge. As soon as I get at 65, we're going to come to a stop and have to turn. So. I have been enjoying the Oklahoma DLC. It's been quite a while since I personally been through Oklahoma. Like, I want to say 2005 maybe. Yeah, 2005, 2006 is when I've been, the last time I was through Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, and Oklahoma. Moved my aunt from Las Vegas back out to Joplin, Missouri. So can't comment on how accurate some of the cities are in this particular DLC because it's just been so long. I mean, they can build stuff and change stuff pretty fast. Oh. Like Wyoming, the University of Wyoming in Laramie doesn't. Pretty much what's built's built. They're not changing that a lot, and I haven't been to Laramie in a long time. Well, 6 years since the last time I was in Laramie, so things haven't changed all that much. Currently live in Idaho, and I'm in Twin Falls, and I'm up in Pocatello and Chubbuck and Blackfoot and Idaho Falls constantly. Spent some time living in Casper, Wyoming, and God, we pretty much went all over the state of Wyoming on family road trips and things, so. Blow past you here. I do think SCS is doing a pretty good job updating the game. You know, keeping things condensed so it doesn't take you in real life time to drive as far as you drive in game. But getting enough detail to really kind of convey what the states look like, what the towns look like. And of course, every new DLC brings new loads, so I haven't hauled a bus yet, or the yard dogs, bus hoods. There's some special transports I haven't checked out yet either, so. Animated animals, that's cool. And I've seen a lot of people like some more weather. My problem with like seasons in the game is it's just so hard to portray how tire chains affect a vehicle. Like, yeah, they can make the roads slick. But since in some places the game doesn't have the steepness of the grades that's in real life, you'd kind of miss out on some of that. Like, going up the Grapevine in the winter or up to the Eisenhower Tunnel from either side. You know, chain law is in effect. You put your chains on. You can't go as fast with chains on because you'll just absolutely destroy the chains and the truck. Those chains will absolutely just beat the snot out of the truck, fenders, or get tangled up in the airlines and rip those all apart. Screw up your ABS sensors. So I know that I'll add a lot of realism to it, but I think it add more headaches than most people playing a game want. I mean, in the wintertime, I usually throw chains on every day just to get in and out of a job site. That's not fun. I don't enjoy doing it. But you have to do it to get the job done. So I don't know if I want that much realism in a truck game. Do I really want the game to advance the clock a half hour, have the screen black out, and then have the truck have tire chains on it? Yeah, not really. I don't need that. Don't really need that to enjoy the game. I would like to see more loads, though, and more accuracy in how the loads are loaded. I mean, it doesn't show anything if you're pulling a van or a tanker, so that doesn't matter. But like the flatbeds and step decks, the lowboys, you're not going to put a small forklift or two small forklifts on a lowboy because the ramps wouldn't let you. You'd have to set the small forklifts on the lowboy with a big forklift. You couldn't drive them on because the ramps aren't designed for it because of where the neck connects to the trailer. Same with, and then you don't need the dollies and the Jeeps for a lot of the loads because their weight isn't there. Like the forklifts or a backhoe, you don't need a 2-axle dolly off the back of the trailer and a 2-axle Jeep on a 3-axle lowboy to haul a backhoe. It's just not heavy enough. Don't even think technically you need the dollies to haul the Volvo rock trucks. If you follow Dirt Perfect on YouTube, he has a Mack, tandem axle, rear axle Mack, and a tri-axle lowboy. You can haul a Volvo rock truck just fine. So I'd like SCS to kind of balance the loads a little better and realize you don't need articulated lowboys for things like backhoes, forklifts, a loader bucket. This flatbed I have here, we could throw several forklifts on it. You could put 2 backhoes on the main deck and a mini excavator up on top of the fifth wheel, and you'd still probably have some wiggle room in your weight capacity to spare. I've seen smaller tracked excavators, not like mini excavators, but the smaller excavators will fit on a drop deck. You can put fairly substantial forklift on a drop deck too. You don't need a lowboy for those little tiny forklifts you just put in a warehouse. That great big old heister we got that'll lift 28,000 pounds. That's stout enough you'd probably have to throw her on a lowboy. And probably disconnect the mast so you could lean it far enough forward to get your height down under 13 feet. Actually, I think that thing's big enough you have to take the mast off. Would be nice to see some more load variety, flatbed style. And would it also be neat if like these dumpsters, for instance, we wouldn't have to take all of the dumpsters to one location. Maybe hit up one or two locations with a load. So not long haul, but less than load. So yeah, we have a full load of dumpsters, but maybe we'll drop 2 off in a city, motor down to the next city, drop a couple off, go to a third stop, drop the rest of them off. That'd bring a lot more interest to the game. And not bring maybe more people into the game, but mix up the loads a little more. So you have to do maybe a little better route planning. Because you can click on the map and then go somewhere else and add another waypoint. So you can add multiple waypoints yourself in game. So I don't think it'd be too much of a stretch to have the loads do that. Cut that one a little wide. Or another good example would be like a fuel tanker. Maybe drop half a trailer load off at one gas station or truck stop, and then go to another stop. Like, I don't know if necessarily we always need to go to a warehouse or a location. Like, they could put some stops in the game where you wouldn't pick up a load. So, like, all the little gas stations you can stop up and fuel up. It'd be kind of cool if hauling fuel, you could stop at some of those and just unload so many gallons. Well, so many thousand gallons. Or hundreds of gallons. Hit maybe a couple of the same brand along one stretch of highway. So that kind of variety I think would be kind of neat to see in the game. As I know, even in Europe, not every truck picks up one load at one location and then takes all of it to another single destination. You might drop some pallets of something off somewhere else, go down to the next town, pick up more pallets of something, go to a third town, and then unload some things. It just kind of depends on how long they want the route to take in game. Boy, I jacked that on the hill. That was terrible. Absolutely terrible. That's better. Still not great. Golly, we're gonna snake her in there. Crooked as hell, though. Jesus. I didn't do that very good at all. Boy, I look really red-faced, too. Let's go ahead and shut her off, see how we did. Let's see here. We went 369 miles, took us 43 minutes, burnt 50 gallons of fuel. And that brings my World of Trucks contracts up to 113 complete. Let's actually check something here. Get my phone. Bring up my calculator. Let's see what the truck's fuel economy is. Let's see here. So that gives me 7.29 miles per gallon in a cab over with 800 horsepower. I think that might be slightly exaggerated. Now, to put that in perspective, the 2016 Kenworth T800 day cab, which is a lot more aerodynamic than this thing, even with oversized loads, well, actually with oversized load, it'd be about as miserable aerodynamic as this thing. And I think Alan's getting low sevens as his average fuel economy. The Mack Granite iDrive is also not super aerodynamic because you got to remember the frame height forge is higher than the Kenworth. And Macks aren't super aerodynamic anyways. And I've been averaging with oversized loads about 10 or 11 feet wide. The Mac's getting about 6.87 miles per gallon. So I think the fuel economy actually might be fairly accurate. Might have to configure a truck with all the in-game stuff and no mods on it, and check fuel economy on one of those. So of course, as you can see, the dumpster's still on there because it's not part of the load. It's part of the truck's looks. But I'm still missing a town. I wonder which one I need. Oh, look. Oh, that screen doesn't come up for you, so yeah. Never mind. Back to game. So, yeah. I need to figure out which town I haven't been to or hauled from. To or from any city in Oklahoma, so yeah. I'll have to figure that out, and they all need to be over 100 miles. And then the community goal is, looks like 111 million miles. Again, this is all World of Trucks accounts. And then you get a black swallowtail ornament and a beautiful wild stampede themed paint job. I have till 1st of October to figure out which town I haven't been to yet. So that is going to do it for this video. So be sure to subscribe, and that way you get notifications when I upload new content, be it ATS, videos from work. I will get back on the Grand Hauler, I promise. Just the end of July and this little bit first part of August just kind of been a mess. We've had some equipment breakdowns in the shop, so we've gotten a little behind. Stuff happens, so. But also be sure to like the content because that helps with the magical algorithms. And we'll catch you in the next episode.